Are Targaryens immune to fire? The answer might shock you. It actually probably won't. I was just trying to have a catchy intro. You know, like those clickbait articles. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Geek, where I answer your sci-fi fantasy related questions, and I haven't done one of these videos in a really long time, so just pretend like I have. Honestly, this video could have been a misconceptions video, but I like variety. This video, I'm going to answer the often asked question, are Targaryens immune to fire? Well, usually it's not asked. Someone writes on my video, you fucking stupid bitch, he couldn't have been burned or cremated because Targaryens are immune to fire. So to answer that question, I want to point out that there is a big difference between book canon and show canon. In the show, most likely Targaryens are immune to fire, or at least the ones that have the blood of the dragon, like Daenerys Targaryen. So if we're going by the show, all Targaryens are, or Daenerys is just special, she's like a chosen one. Now in the books, this is a completely different story. In the books, Targaryens are absolutely not immune to fire. Targaryens have died from fire-related incidences, such as King Aegon V and his son Duncan from a fire that broke out at Summerhall in 259 AC, called the Tragedy of Summerhall. Though he could have died from being hit by collapsing things due to the fire or maybe smoke inhalation. But it's believed the actual fire killed him. Aerion Targaryen was also killed by consuming wildfire, but that example might be polluted by the fact that wildfire has chemical properties that probably killed him. There's also the fact Targaryens traditionally have their bodies burned, they're cremated when they die. Which I guess you could argue, well, once they die, Targaryens lose their fireproof ability. But the ultimate proof that Targaryens are not immune to fire in the books comes from George himself. He said in an interview, "Targaryens are not immune to fire. The birth of Dany's dragons was unique, magical, wondrous, a miracle. She is called the Unburnt because she walked into the flames and lived. But her brother sure as hell wasn't immune to that molten gold." George also explained that Daenerys surviving the fire was a special circumstance and due to blood magic. If the conditions had not been right, she would have burned alive. He said in another interview, "Lastly, some fans are reading too much into the scene in A Game of Thrones where the dragons are born, which is to say, it was never the case that all Targaryens are immune to all fire at all times." When asked if she will do what she did in the funeral pyre again, George responded, "Probably not." So while book Targaryens aren't immune to fire, they definitely have plus to their fire-resistant stat, such as Aegon V, who even in sweltering hot weather didn't seem to sweat, something that the knight he was squiring under was super envious of. Aegon V, just like Daenerys, also took scalding hot baths that might not be comfortable for a non-Targaryen to step into. Viserys even says it's never too hot for a Targaryen, so they do handle heat better than those outside their bloodline. Daenerys proves this when she is still burnt by her dragon in A Dance with Dragons. And before she's about to be burned by her dragon, Daenerys is very aware she isn't fireproof, thinking, "If I run from him, he will burn me and devour me." So she fears he's going to burn her with his fire and is trying to avoid it. When she does get hit with some of his fire, she isn't outright killed though, like a non-Targaryen would have. Like others during this chapter are killed by his fire. Her heat resistance essentially saves her from a very painful death, but her skin is still blistered pink and tender afterwards. So there you have it. In the show, Targaryens, or at least Daenerys, are immune to fire. In the books, they most definitely aren't immune to fire according to George, and whenever George answers this question, he always seems a little angry. Maybe he's getting tired of this misconception. Oh wait, nope, this was a Ask a Geek, shit! So thank you so much for watching another Ask a Geek series. If you have a sci-fi fantasy related question, it doesn't matter what it's related to, just anything sci-fi fantasy, go ahead and put it in the comment section below and I will try to make a video about it.